into the topic of snacking. So drop a comment in the chat box if nighttime snacking is a challenge for you. Drop a comment, give a thumbs up, and I'm going to give a big thumbs up. It's been a big challenge for me the last couple of weeks. So if you're here for the first time, let me just say that I have lost 173 pounds of weight to date. 173 pounds. That is 12 stone 3 pounds, and it's taken me 6 years and 8 months as of this month. And in that time, nighttime tracking has been a bit of a challenge for me. I've gone through periods where it's been major, and then other times where I felt I've got it under control and it's not so much a problem, and then it started to creep back in again. It's become a problem, and then I've had to snatch it and get it back under control. So I've had that up and down journey with snacking in the evenings. Do let me know, guys, if that is a challenge for you as well. And then, you know, feel free to get involved in this conversation, and also drop a comment as well. I'd love to know your thoughts. So nighttime snacking. So here's the thing, I've got two thoughts around this. So my thoughts about nighttime snacking is this: it's either a problem or it's not a problem. And not all snacking in the evenings is a negative. Some people choose to snack in the evening, and some people snack but they have little control over that. They've lost the control. So the question isn't, is nighttime snacking bad? Is it a problem? The question should be, are you in control of your snacking habits or not? And when I coach people and they say to me, you know, I need to stop my nighttime snacking, that's often the question I pose. Well, where are you? Are you in control of it? Is it a problem or is it not a problem? Because for some people, they choose to they make a conscious decision to snack in the evenings, for all sorts of reasons. It could be that's the time that they are relaxing with their family and their friends. They might be watching a movie, it might be the weekend, and they might think, you know what, I'm going to plan my day so that I'm going to save some points, some sins, some calories, some macros, whatever it is that you do. I'm going to plan my day and I'm going to have some snacks in the evening. In that case, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. So if you are in control of it, not a problem. And I think for most people that I come across, that's not where they're at. That's not where they're at. But that's where a lot of people are trying to get to, is to get into the point of being able to have that control and to plan their snacks. Okay, so if the other scenario is true of you, you are snacking and you just feel out of control and you want to get control of it, then this is what I'm going to focus on now. So in order to get snacking under control, we need to think about a couple of things. We need to think about our diet. What sort of things are we eating throughout the day? And maybe making some behavioral adjustments as well. Changing our behaviors. But also the third aspect is to identify and then address any underlying issues that is impacting us. So I'm going to break that down into a couple of areas. So if you're snacking in the if you're snacking in the evening and it's a problem for you, then number one, have a look at what you're eating throughout the day. Have a think about what it is that you're eating. Is it that you're skipping meals throughout the day? Maybe if you're a 3 meal a day person, are you skipping your meals? Are you skipping your snacks in between? Are you skipping lunch? Or maybe you're having those meals, but it's very light and it's not satisfying you. It could be that, so that by the time you've come around to the evening, you're still hungry. And I say that because that used to be a major problem for me. I used to be like, back in the day when I used to have breakfast, I mean, my eating habits are completely different now, but back in the day when I used to have breakfast, I used to have sugary cereals and things like toast, all those carby things. And then that would have a knock-on effect on like my mid-morning snack. And I again wanted something really sugary and carby. That would knock me out, just drain my energy. And then at lunchtime, I'd be like, oh, I need to cut back on my calories or my points, whatever. So I have something really, really light. But then that would lead to afternoon snacking. And then I would then go in and have dinner, and I'd be like, oh, I've blown me calories or me points or me sins, whatever it is for the day. I need to go light on my dinner. And then I'd be snacking. But did you notice that pattern, guys? I was having sugary, carby stuff, not filling or satisfying food for breakfast. That led to mid-morning snacking, then going light at lunch. That led to afternoon snacking, then having a light dinner, more evening snacking. So skipping meals or going light on your meals can lead to snacking throughout the day, but also in the evenings, and we can just completely lose control. So what I'd say, if that is you, and what I had to do was I had to redress that, and I had to go and have balanced meals, and I would really bump up the fibre and the protein. So now when I have a meal, fibre rich, protein rich, and in fact, let's be honest, it's more protein rich than fibre. So I get that protein in because I know that that's what's going to satisfy me. It's going to leave me feeling full. And yeah, it's going to curb the need for that sugary, carby food. So yeah, eat enough during the day and make sure that what we're eating is protein rich, fibre rich, and is leaving us satisfied. And also, if the evening snacking, if after you've had your dinner, maybe 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then you find that 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock you're snacking, maybe think about the time that you have your dinner. Yeah, so if you have your dinner at 5 and about 9 o'clock you want a snack, that's a good 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a good 4 hours in between. And by that time, it typically takes a good 3 to 5 hours for our food to digest. Yeah, maybe you are feeling hungry by about 8, 9 o'clock. So maybe think about whether you can shift your evening meal, push it back a little bit, even by an hour. Maybe, think about what time you go to bed. So if you go to bed about 10, 11, maybe, and I would always recommend leaving at least 4 hours between. I say that's just for me personally. That may not be for you. So I'm not gonna, scratch that, and because we're all different. But yeah, maybe just think about pushing your meals back a little bit. So if you normally have your meal at 5, maybe think about having it at 6 or 7 o'clock. Maybe you're having it at 5 to eat with the children. Maybe just have something really light with the kids, but save your main meal for later in the evening. Yeah. And if it's a case of managing your points or your sins or your calories, maybe then you just need to think about where and how you can just manage those meals earlier in the day, and maybe reduce those snacks, or have, maybe more protein rich snacks, so that it allows you to have something really small at 5 o'clock with the kids perhaps, or to push your main meal back to 6 or 7, and make sure that that last meal is really fiber rich and protein dense, and give that a try and see if that works for you. So the next area that you could perhaps think about, if nighttime snacking is a key for you, is maybe think about your evening routine. Have a little look at what it is that you're doing in the evening. If it's that you're coming in from work and you're going for a walk, or you're doing some form of activity, does that increase your hunger? And I'm leaving it loose, guys, because we're all different. Some people can do an activity, drink water, and they're satisfied. Other people like me, if I do an activity, I get hungry, I want to eat. Yeah. So think about what it is that you're doing in the evenings. Is it that you're doing activity that's leading you to eat? Is it that you're watching TV programs or shows that is subconsciously triggering that food noise? Is it that you're watching adverts that have got, those sugary, carby foods in, and then you start thinking, yeah, that M&S advert looks really good, or that Co-op advert, look at all those offers they've got, and you just start cupboard surfing. Yeah, have a little think about that. Is this something that is triggering you in the evening, that is making you think, maybe I should go and just have a little look in the cupboard? Maybe it's the emotions. Maybe you're feeling bored or lonely in the evening, and we're finding comfort in having that little snack. If that's you, maybe then think about, what is there something you can do to reduce that boredom? I know for me, as I said, I thought I had snacking under control, especially being on Manjaro the past couple of months. But you know what? I'm a work in progress, and I'm always learning about myself, always learning about my body. And the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've just found that I'm wanting to snack in the evenings. And I've really had to think about this, because I'm a reflector. If something's off, I have to stop and reflect. And I'm like, well, I'm not bored, because when I get home from work, when I finish work, I've got the cats to sort out, or I'll go and see the grandkids, or I'm in the garden or something like that. But I tell you what it was, I discovered what it was. I'm on my laptop and I'm editing my videos. And I'm usually sat with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. And that old habit of having a hot drink and a biscuit or a few crisps were creeping back in. And I didn't even want it. and I certainly wasn't hungry for it, but it's this habit of having a cup of tea, something hot, and having something whilst I'm sat in this same chair here, just relaxing, editing away. And I just thought to myself, that's interesting that I'm feeling like that. However, when I have my cold drink, this is my, you can hear that, I've got my squash in here. When I've got a cold drink, don't want a snack, because having a biscuit with a cold drink doesn't work. Well, not for me anyway, you know. So that's been really interesting for me. So what I do, I bring up, I like my water really ice cold. That's why it's in this flask, because it's cold. So I've been bringing up my water. This was here from last night. I brought it up last night. I bring one up every night, and I drink my water in the evenings. And it's also a good way of getting extra water in rather than having a hot drink. And I've not snacked. Interesting. Now that works for me. It might not work for you, but it's just taking that time to think about the options. What is it that's leading us to it? So, you know, maybe we need to just look at our habits. What is it that we're doing in the, oh, and the other thing I've noticed is when I'm sat in this room editing, I'm more likely to snack because I'm feeling really, really comfy and cozy. But when I'm downstairs and I'm editing, don't snack, because I'm not as cozy. Yeah, the room is nice, the room is cozy. I'm right next to the kitchen, but I don't have the need to snack, even if I'm having a hot drink. So I think there's something there about my environment that the last couple of weeks has made me want to snack. There is something else, which I'll tell you in a moment, that I realised is making me, that's triggering the snacking. So yeah, you know, that second point is about looking at that routine in the evening. It could be the evening, it could be early afternoon, it could be any time of the day that we're having that snack. But look at what's going on for us. Yeah, look at our habits, look at our environment, what's happening for us at that point. It could be also that we're watching TV with our friends and family and we've got the bag of crisps, and you know, it's easy just to always be hand in the packet straight to the mouth whilst we're watching TV, and before we know it, that bag of crisps is gone. I've done it many a times, and I'm not talking the little 30 grams, I'm talking about the great big whopping family bags, and that's gone. I've done that in the past. So what I've had to do in terms of planning, because remember I said it's not wrong, there's nothing wrong in snacking if that's what you want and you've planned that in. What I would do, I would plan it in and just portion it out. I'd have my little bowls, got some really beautiful crystal bowls that I picked up from the charity shop, and you know, I'd put some in, and that's me lot. And then, you know, I practice that mindful eating, just having one at a time rather than a handful and shoveling it in. I'll just have one, and I'd hold it in my mouth and I'd taste the flavour, I'd hear the crunch and the texture, and I'll just eat it really, really mindfully. And before I know it, whether it's popcorn or crisps or sweets, whatever it is, it would last me a long time. So yeah, you know, so you know, if snacking is what you choose to do because you're in control, try and make it mindful. Make it mindful so that you stay in control of it. Then the next area that I want to focus in on is getting underneath why we're snacking. So, you know, we've made that decision to snack or not to snack. You know, we're in control, and that's where most of us are aiming to get to. We're looking at some of the behaviors around why we're snacking, what, the environment, maybe looking at some of those habits around moving at the times that we eat. But now it's time to think about what's driving that snacking. What's driving that? So really important to identify what are your triggers, what's triggering that. Is it our emotions? Maybe we're feeling stressed. Maybe we're having a stressful day. Maybe somebody's upset us. Maybe something's brought us joy, because remember, we can eat when we're happy, when we're sad, when we're joyful, when we're feeling down. All those emotions can lead us to eat. So, what's triggering in that is that we've had a stressful day. Maybe somebody upset us. Maybe we've had a really good news. Maybe we're feeling good about ourselves. What's driving that? So just however you do it, whether you use a journal, whether you talk to somebody, whether you come on our membership and share on our virtual workshop, great opportunity to explore those habits. Maybe you keep a journal. For me personally, I just like to sit with a cup of tea, no biscuits, or cup of coffee, no biscuit, and just reflect. And I often just sit in the garden and I'm just looking and I'm just thinking, my mind's going, and I'm just thinking about my habits. So, identify what's going on, write it down if you need to, and just track how is it, how are you feeling at the time? What was going on for you at that time that, you felt out of control and you were just snacking and it became an issue for you? And when you can start to identify the patterns, then it becomes easier then to address it, because we know why. Because we've already talked about what to do and some strategies to do it, but we need to understand why we're doing that, what's leading to that. And when I have stopped and reflected, a couple of things is going on for me. So this time of year, I mentioned right at the top of the live that I am a summertime person. I love the summer. I love the sun. The hotter, the better. You will never hear me complain about the hot weather. I love it. I love it. It lifts my mood. I feel good. I feel amazing. And I get my, some good health weight loss results in the summer. Typically, usually. I haven't this past couple of weeks, and I'll tell you why. But this past couple of weeks, I've noticed the weather's changing. The evenings are drawing in ever so slightly, and it typically does in August. By the end of August, it's going to be dark by 8 o'clock. Yeah. Whereas back in June, it was still light at 10 o'clock. I noticed that. And I've also noticed, even in the evenings, there's a chill in the air. So I lose the sun out of my garden from about 4:30. And usually about 6 o'clock, I can feel the chill in the air. And I don't like it. And that is affecting my mood. The evening's drawing in, the coolness in the air, the fact that like at 8:30 last night, I was closing my curtains. I'm in my room, hunkering down. Don't like it. It's affecting my mood. And I need to feel that comfort. I need comforting. It's affecting my emotions. And that's why the past 2 weeks, even on Manjaro, I'm getting down a few snacks. And I said to you on my live last week, I was really honest, and I said that the past 3 weeks, I lost £1 when I was on my last holiday, but since I've come back, I haven't lost any weight. And that, along with this week, I've lost £0.5 this week. Let me just put it out there. I lost £0.5 this week. But that is because of my emotions. I'm feeling, my mood is coming down with the weather. Weather's nights drawing in. I don't like it. I don't like it. And that's affecting my snacking. That's affecting me looking for comfort in the evenings, hence having a few snacks. So, you know, really important, guys, to get underneath what's happening with you. Yeah. So, and when we do that, we can address those things. I will be honest, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about that. Because my routine is, I tend to, as the nights are drawing in, it's getting cold outside. I'm coming in, I'm having a bath by like 8 o'clock, get nice and warm, put my comfies on. And then I'm sitting in my room and I'm editing my videos to keep myself busy, keep myself occupied. And that's when I'm stacking. Whereas a couple of weeks ago, I was sat in the garden till like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, wasn't snacking. Might be having a drink, might be having like some iced water with some lemon or something. Wasn't snacking. I was busy in the garden doing it. Wasn't snacking. Past a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, started creeping in. So yeah, interesting. I just thought I'd share that with you. But yeah, have a look out for, you know, what's causing it, what are your triggers. Also, think about stress. Are you stressed? Because, you know, stress, we don't talk a lot about stress, but stress is a big one. When we're stressed, that impacts our emotions, and it can lead to both emotional eating and also comfort eating and also disordered eating. 3 different things, all separate different things. But yeah, think about, are we feeling stressed? Have we got stresses going on in our lives to do with work or family or money or health? You know, all of those things can cause us stress. So, you know, have a little look at that and then just try ways to balance that out and to de-stress. Yeah. Then think about things like hydration. And as I say that, I've got my water bottle, and please excuse me, I'm going to have a little sip because, you know, it's thirsty work chatting. Excuse me. Oh, that's lovely. I have these flasks. This is my Mickey Mouse flask, my Disney flask. And these keep your drinks hot or cold. I just got this one from Asda, I think. You can get them from anywhere. I bought another one, a smaller one from B&M yesterday. And I really like these because if the water that goes in it is cold and I put it in the fridge, it'll stay nice and cold. So, and then I take them on holiday, and when I'm going out, or even like if I'm going shopping, I'll fill it with a tea or coffee and I'll take it with me, take my flask and I'll have it in the car and just sip my tea. So whether you put hot drinks or cold drinks, it'll stay at that temperature. So I love these. So I bring this up with me at night. I've got two of these. Well, now I've got 3 because I bought another one yesterday. And I bring it up at night, and then I drink it at night. Save me from having a cup of tea, the biscuit. And then I've still got it nice and cold in the morning. And then I'll drink it in the morning. So yeah, that's my little hack. So yeah, keep hydrated. Sometimes we think we're hungry when actually we're thirsty. So, you know, think about, are we hydrated? Because it's that same hormonal signal that is going off. Well, it's not the same, it's different, but they're very similar. So we think we're hungry when actually we're just thirsty. So just keep drinking lots of water throughout the day to keep hydrated. And you know, I've talked about this in the last couple of lives, is sleep. Look at your sleeping patterns. Are you getting enough sleep? Are your hormones regulated? You know, and then thinking about that hormones, it'll impact everything else. When we eat, what we eat, the time that we're eating, whether we're stressed, you know, how we're feeling, the emotions, all of that will feed into that. So just try and, you know, manage that sleep to help keep everything else balanced. And then something really, really, you know, I suppose it's simple for some people, but not as easy for others, is about where we're keeping those snacks. You know, if we've got children, like, you know, when my grandchildren come, there's a cupboard with just a couple of snacks there for them, just a couple. My 4-year-old, he knows where Nanny's sweets are kept. And he'll go, I'm going to have one of Nanny's sweets. He knows where they are. You know, when I go to their house, I know where the snack cupboard is, so I try and avoid that. But you know, so but if you live on your own or with other adults, it's easier to have control of that, because you know, if you don't buy them, you can't eat them, you know. So I take control in that way. But if you've got children in your household, just either think about the type of snacks that you're bringing in, even for them. So when I go and see my grandchildren and I'm taking snacks for them, I take fruit for them instead of, I mean, I say that I did take them some sweets yesterday, but typically I'll buy them fruit, melons and pineapples and berries and things like that as snacks. So yeah, think about the type of snacks that you buy. But if you do want to have a treat either for yourselves or the people in the house, just think about the type of snacks that you're going for and where you keep them. Yeah. So yeah, you know, I mean, you know, I touched on this last week about things that we label as healthy and unhealthy. And these are my air quotes. Yeah, the healthy and unhealthy. And it's easy to say, oh, crisps are unhealthy or chocolates are unhealthy. But then an apple can be unhealthy too. Fruit can be unhealthy. It's how we perceive it, how we look at it. Something is healthy if we're in control of it. And something is unhealthy if we have little control. So, you know, you can eat an apple and that could be a healthy choice. But then you can juice 10 apples and that's an unhealthy choice. Unhealthy in air quotes, because that's high sugar and that can have an adverse effect on us. Yeah, we can end up eating lots and lots and lots of fruit throughout the day, and we can still, that can be, you know, not the best choice, because again, it can impact our sugar levels. And it can make us feel really sluggish. It can prevent us from moving and doing other things to sustain our weight loss. That can be, for want of another word, an unhealthy choice. Whereas you can be craving that bar of chocolate or that bag of crisps or the cakes or the bit, whatever it is, you could be craving that. And you might be like, oh, that's unhealthy. What's unhealthy is if you restrict yourself from having it, and then you end up eating 4 or 5 donuts instead of one, or 6 bags of crisps instead of one, or 4 bars of chocolates instead of one. That's then not a good choice. So yeah, you know, like I talked about last week, it's how we define what's healthy and unhealthy. So I'm just trying to change my lexicon, trying to change my language and move away from healthy and unhealthy, good and bad, and talking about, you know, choices that are going to helped me on my journey. So yeah, think about those choices that we have around us that is going to help us. So, if you do choose to have those snacks in the evening and you're in control of those snacks, maybe you've planned your day, planned your meals. So you think, you know what, I'm going to sit down this evening. I'm going to be on my laptop editing. I'm going to watch a movie. I'm sitting with my friend or my partner. We're going to have a couple of drinks and a few nibbles. Nothing wrong in that, my lovelies. Nothing wrong in that at all. Take it one step further and just plan that in. Think about what you're going to have. Yeah. Maybe think about something like, slicing up an apple and then having a peanut butter dip with that. That's really nice. I don't know if you've ever had that, but peanut butter with apple slices, absolutely delicious. And because the apple's going to give you that sweetness and the fibre, the peanut butter's going to give you that crunch. Beautiful combo. Maybe think about, some Greek yogurt, but stir in some berries with a little bit of honey, maybe with some crushed nuts on top. Again, really lovely, crunchy, textured choice. Maybe think about, if you like dipping your hand in and out of a bag or a bowl, maybe mix up a few crisps, maybe half a bag of crisps with a handful of mixed nuts, almonds, pistachios, Brazil nuts. Think about those things, cashew. And do you know what people often say? People often have a bit of a fit when I'll say, have some nuts, and they go, oh my goodness, but they're high in points or calories or sins. They're very good for us. They're healthy fats. Yeah, they've got fats in, which is very, very good for us. Have those and look at reducing, calories or points or sins, whatever you do elsewhere, but try and get those healthy nuts in. Maybe think about, some hummus. Oh, I love a bit of hummus. Some hummus with some veggie sticks, maybe some cucumber sticks or carrot sticks, celery, peppers, things like that. And like that, have as much as you want, because, those veggie sticks are very good for us. And they're very low in calories as well, if you're counting calories. Maybe have something like a whole grain piece of toast with some peanut butter on. Yeah. But even if you do want the sweet treat, then again, if there's like cakes and biscuits there, have it, but just limit how much you have. Have one biscuit rather than 3 or 4, or if you struggle to have the one biscuit, maybe take the biscuit, crush it up and sprinkle it over some yogurt, so that you've still got that taste. So, I've lost my weight by not restricting myself, but by making those choices. So, if I do want that chocolate biscuit, I will have 1 or 2 maximum, and that's it. I put it away and I've gone and done something else, gone and kept myself busy. But then I might only have that once a week, not having it every day. Yeah. If I do want that bag of crisps, I will have a bag of crisps. But I'll either just buy one, or if I buy a bag of 6, I'm just like, right, I'm just having one and I'm putting the rest away. Or I'll portion them out. What I tend to do sometimes is I'll put one in my lunch bag, because I know it's going to go to work. I'll put 2 like in the kiddies cupboard or the kiddies treat box, so I know that there's that there for them. I'll have 1 then, so that's 4 already accounted for, and then I'll just say to myself, I'll have 1 the next day and the 1 the day out. So in my head, I've portioned them out. Yeah. But yeah, it's it's about taking control. And and I'm not saying that like it's easy. It is a skill and it comes over time with practice. But taking control of our choices, but also it's that mindset thing which I started with right at the top, is that it's nothing wrong in snacking. We all love a snack. Yeah, I'm the biggest snacker out of the lot. Nothing wrong in having a snack, but it's how in control are we of those snacks, or are those snacks controlling us? Yeah, and the strategies I've just talked about can help us to take that control by taking that time to reflect, by thinking about how we're feeling, what's driving that. Is it the stress? Managing that. If we have got those snacks around us, just making that mindful, conscious choice. Yeah, all of those strategies can really help us with that. But the worst thing you can do is start beating yourself up, because that's counterproductive. That's not going to get us anywhere. So don't beat yourself up if one night you go overboard with the snacks. Just like, right, okay, what can I learn from it? What was going on for me? And what can I do differently tomorrow? Yeah. There might come a point, and only you know this, where you've got a really strong urge to eat at night. After you've put in place all those strategies, you've done the reflection, you've done all the things, and you have this really strong urge to eat at night. If it's causing you distress, it's really important to consider whether there's something else going on for you. And it might even be something medical going on for you. We're hearing more about a syndrome called night eating syndrome, also known as NES. And it's a distinct eating order that is characterized by delayed food intake and wanting to eat even after you've had a satisfying meal. So that might be going on for you. So do be aware of that, and feel free to talk to your GP, talk to your doctor, just talk to your medical practitioner if you feel that you might have NES, night eating syndrome, and talk it through with them and get that advice. Yeah. So I did a little bit of research on this, and night eating syndrome, I'm just going to read it here for you. Symptoms can include not feeling hungry in the morning, having trouble falling or staying asleep, and a belief that you must eat to go back to sleep. So it's a type of eating disorder, and speaking to a healthcare professional is the right thing to do. So yeah, just bear that in mind. So guys, there we go. Share with me in the comments anything that you're going to take away from today's session. What are your thoughts? Whatever you are up to, have a lovely, lovely, lovely week. Let me know, guys. Drop a comment on the channel, either in the community page or underneath one of my videos. Let me know if you're enjoying these live streams. Let me know. Because if you enjoy the live streams, I will continue doing them. Yeah, because I really enjoy doing the live stream sessions with you. And what I'll do is, what I like to do is just go over the live stream, cut out all the waffle in between at the top, and then upload it as a video. So let me know if that's of value to you. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here with me. If you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Click, what is it? Subscribe, click that subscribe button, hit the bell. That's it, hit the bell. I don't know, what am I like? Drop a comment. feel free to share, and yeah, feel free to join the membership. And again, loads of different ways. If you want to support the channel financially, feel free to do so. Guys, I will see you on the next video. Have a lovely, lovely day. Look after yourselves, and remember, you got this. See you soon, guys. Bye.